social media. It is me, your man Mac Mans, and I usually come in with a song, but today I'm coming with a little bit somber, more, if you will, more home hitting topic. I have veterans in my family. We just celebrated Veterans Day, and a lot of veterans are not being taken care of the way they should be. And so what we need is we need more people out there who are willing to put in the effort and the work to help those who need help. That is a big issue in a lot of areas in the United States of America. There's a lot of issues. And it just, if I want to break it down even smaller, there's a lot of more of those issues in communities and states and certain neighborhoods. You might have veterans in your neighborhood. You might have friends that know veterans and they're suffering. So today I want to bring on someone I was connected to by the name of Scout. Scout is the first lady of A-State Girls. Well, so what I want to do is I want to give an applause here to Scout. Usually I start the show with a sponsor. Today is just going to be my regular water. And you know how I am about drinking soda and don't do the, no, I can't do it. It's not good for me. Carbonation's bad. So let's give applause for that. And this is also sponsored by MacMan Media. If you guys know, you know. You know, I've been working at this for a while, taking a lot of hard time and effort to do so. So I want to give thanks to my guest today for joining us. And I also want to give her a chance to give you a chance to get to know who she is. So let's bring in Scout. Applause, people.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing today, Scout? I'm doing all right.
I'm good. Yeah.
I was trying to get a hold of you earlier. The sound would not get together. It's like everything that could go wrong would go wrong. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
so I'm trying to keep it all together. But Scout, I would like for you to introduce yourself and tell them what it is you do as far as the thing you do for veterans, and tell us a little about your group, A-State Girls.
Yeah. So my name's Scout, and I'm the first lady of the A-State Girls. And the A-State Girls are the significant others, wives, girlfriends of the members of the A-State Boys Motorcycle Club. And so they do a lot for the veterans, and we kind of help out, and we kind of do the background for them. So so far we have raised about almost $15,000 for Wreaths Across America, which, if you don't know what that is, it's where we go in December and place wreaths on the fallen soldiers' headstones and graves at the Little Rock Cemetery, the Veterans Cemetery. And some of these graves haven't been seen to in 100 years. And we say the soldier's name. Some of their names haven't been spoken in that long either. And so we place a wreath on their graves. And it's a really, really good charity to support. You can support it on your own. You can just donate to Wreaths Across America. But we have this event every year. It's called the Basic White Girl Party. And we call it that just because we wanted to have some Starbucks and Ugg boots and just make it kind of funny. It's a funny time, and it's at Hard Riders there in Cabot. And this year we're having a taco bar, a dessert auction. We always have really good door prizes, and you just buy tickets for that, and then you kind of get all these goodies that have been donated from across the state. And then we also have a 50-50 raffle. And that's for Wreaths Across America. But we also do other events during the year for, sometimes we do bingo, and that's like geezer bingo, where you dress like an old lady and
Yes,
you go play bingo in Hard Riders.
I've seen pictures of that. I thought that was hilarious. I saw the pictures.
It's really fun. And we've raised about $5,000 over the past 2 years for Compassionately Connected for veterans. So we do Wreaths Across America for the fallen soldiers, and then we do Compassionately Connected for veterans that are alive today. And
all right,
so
well,
kind of get both sides.
Want to give you an applause for that. I think that is such a worthy cause, and like I said, my father's a veteran, and I have two brothers that are veteran. One passed away, rest his soul. I think that we do neglect them some of the time, and I'm be honest with me. If you ever look at any of my podcasts, I basically let people come on. We have a subject, or I might do a subject by myself, and I just basically just give my contemporary commentary on it. And the thing with me is I don't have any agenda as far as race, as far as political identity, as far as male or woman. My whole goal is to get information out to people and let people know that there's things out here for them. Or even if, just like say, some of my podcasts, I go into subjects that some people don't like to. If you know me, I do advocate for children, autistic children, advocate for equality as far as I think in a marriage. I've always been the one that think that it takes 50-50 to make it work. Me and my wife, we have a very amazing marriage. And I want to bring it up to you for you. That's going to lead to my next subject here. Being married to someone who also is into bikes and into like that type of thing, did it help draw you closer to this, or was this something you were already doing before that?
No, no. And I told you on the phone when we spoke that I was not elected to this position. Now, my husband, because of who my husband is, I get to be first lady. But the A State girls are all the wives and girlfriends, and they are a great group of ladies. We all are like a family, and that's because of the A State boys. My husband is the state president of the A State boys. He's over about, I don't know, 60 or 70 guys. And it's a big family, but we all work together toward common causes that mean a lot to us. Um, Over the years, the A State boys have gone out of their way to do funeral procession escorts,
Okay.
child benefiting childhood cancer. One of the members actually had his son pass away from a terrible cancer in his brain, and so that's always been something that we've been involved in. But the girls have kind of taken off on our own, uh, raising money for things that are so important to us.
Well, right now, as you're speaking, I am showing right now. If you can see that, you guys, zoom in on that. There we go. That is the fundraiser benefiting Reefs Across America, Basic White Girl Party. That is November 16th. Is that not, that's tomorrow, correct? No, that's the
Say it
sixth.
again.
It's the 16th. Is that tomorrow?
Yes, so it's tomorrow. Yeah, it's tomorrow. We're starting it at 7. Yep.
Okay, I
But it
see
goes a
there.
long time. Anyone's welcome to show up whenever, and hopefully there will be tacos left. You might want to get there at 7 if you want all the tacos. I'm bringing some cilantro that I grew in my garden,
Okay,
and so it's going to be some really good stuff.
I tell you what, my wife goes. Okay, my wife goes. She goes, she's, I like what they're doing. She goes, what is the basic white girl party? And I'm gonna tell you this. Here's the funny thing, okay? Because if anybody, and I don't mind telling people this, I have when it comes to, and I will say this, when it comes to racial situations, I'm the right and the wrong guy to talk to. If you're looking for somebody to have an agenda, it don't work with me. If you're looking for somebody to make everybody be at peace, that's the type of guy I am, because my kids are partially Caucasian and partially black. So, so my kids grew up and they don't look nothing like me. They're all, oh my God, my kids don't, they look like me, but you couldn't tell they were my children. I put it like that. And so so to say that, it's like I've been on both sides. And when I saw the white girl party, I knew exactly. I was like, wait a minute. I said, I hear that name. I think of Starbucks. I think of little
Oh
like,
yeah, and that's why we called it that. We've been calling it that for years, just because it's so funny. Because you remember it, you're like,
yes,
oh, they're gonna be wearing those fur boots and drinking lattes, and it's gonna be funny. And that's what we told
yes.
people. I said, wear some flannel, wear something that makes fun of the whole image of basic white girl stuff. And you say that it's kind of a mixed bag in your family. Well, the A-State boys are the same way. They don't see color. Everyone is welcome in his motorcycle club. I know that that's not true for all motorcycle clubs. And so that's something that I feel is so important, is that anyone is welcome in their club, the A-State Boys of Arkansas.
I'm gonna give you another applause. I love having guests like you on. This is like really refreshing, because I think in the world today we have a lot of things that we don't pay attention to because we're being blinded by something else. I myself, I call it the Diddy vortex. Excuse me for that, but I just do. I figured that when that happened, then the election happened, stuff that we need to care about, we stop caring about because we're
Yeah.
intertwined with everything else. So
Yeah, well, and I mean, if you watch the mainstream news, they want us to hate each other all the time. When
yes.
really, you just walk outside and walk down the street, and you're gonna You're going to see friends, you're going to see your neighbors. And I don't, I don't like the way the news is kind of dividing us, like you said.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing too. I think when you live, I'm the type of guy like this. I say yes, I do. Everybody has their different way of living, their different path of a lifestyle or the way they're going to go. Their maturation, nobody's maturation process is the same. But during that process, you meet people, and people change your life. Some people are brought into your life just to change. I told somebody before, dealing with people, it's like having a cookout. You got some people that come to the cookout, and I did steal this analogy from somebody, so they don't listen, so they'll never know. But it's like having a cookout. You have some people that come to the cookout and they bring things. You have other people that come to the cookout and they just take a plate. And what that analogy means is you have people that come into your life. They're there to enhance it, to help your development, help the maturation process. They're there to give so that you can flourish into something else. With other people, they're there just to come in and take what they can take and leave. And
Yeah.
so, and so that is how I feel like sometimes, I'll be honest, that we have, as a country, we have done our veterans. They came and brought something to the table, but we let them leave with nothing. Some of them, and like I said, I do have a lot of veterans in my family. I never really talk about these situations because I use a lot of analogies when I say things. I love to talk. That's why I do a podcast. But I do a lot of analogies with things because some things need to be broken down for simpler for people to understand. So, like I said, imagine going to a barbecue and bringing stuff, and you get to take nothing home. So, like, you give everything you have and you go and you give this time up from your family. You give this time up from where you live, and you go over and you defend for those who need to be defended for. You go into areas most people would be scared to go into at nights and even with the lights on or daytime. And then you come home and you find out, you're homeless. There's really not enough care. There's really not enough benefits for you, or
Oh,
or
yeah.
even the ones that get sent away and then they don't come home and then their loved ones are left without them. He's like, I think we have to have a better plan. And I'm going to segue into this question for you. So what do you think could be, if anything, what do you think could be a solution to the problem we have? Because when you look out here and the homeless people, a lot of them are veterans that are homeless and in need. And I didn't really realize that till I talked to you and you were talking about what you guys do. My wife was just sitting there. They said, we need to make bags up and take them out. And I met a lot of homeless people and they tell me their stories. A lot of these guys have been like to wars and stuff like that. So what do you think we can do to help fix that problem in America?
I think it's doing stuff like this, like bringing awareness to people that are in our community because we can do so much. I mean, look at just our group of 20 women and men. We've raised $15,000 for these veterans. And I mean, that's just 20 people. And so in a community like Cabot or like Little Rock, think about how many people are there and how much good they can do if, like you said, they're going to go to the cookout and they're going to bring something instead of just coming to get a plate.
Yeah, and that's it. It's like but then again, like I said, we have to have people that are willing to step up to actually want to make the difference too, though, because that is the thing. It's like we live in a time now. Have you know? I don't know how old you are, Scott. I won't go there. I won't ask you. I will tell you, I was born in 1974, so I will say that. So I got some age on me, and I was bringing this up because I don't know how old you are, but the era I came up in, it's like you cared about people. You knew not to ask certain questions, but you did ask questions. You cared. You wanted to know what was going on. You didn't have a fear in your heart to tell them, like, look, we need this for this and that person. We got to help this. We got to do that. Now people don't speak up anymore. We're so fear shocked of people. We don't stand up. We don't hand out. We don't help. We don't help up. If you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're so disconnected nowadays. And I hear this all the time. My husband's got 2 years on you. He was born in 72. And he says the same thing to me all the time is that, things were different. Things were different back when I was a kid. You knew your neighbor, you talked to people in your community. And nowadays our faces are down on our phones. And
Yes.
it's a worldwide problem. It's a global problem. But if we can just sit down, take a look at ourselves, and do something about it. Just raise awareness and raise our kids. I think that's a big part of it is parenting and leading by example. If I'm a parent and I'm going to say, "Hey, you need to get off your iPad for the day." Well, what kind of parent does that make me if I'm going to go sit on my phone
Yeah, and
telling
not
her
spend
the
that
same
time.
thing,
Yeah,
at the same time?
yeah, I get that. That's a good point. Good point. And I think that's what's missing. And I'll be honest, like I said, I know we're still on the same subject about veterans. Here's the thing, though, about this subject, the way we're moving. It's like I tell you, you get on my podcast, we kind of like drive a car, and we just drive along the road, and we'll hit little bumps, but we always get back to the subject. But like you were saying, a lot of these things, like this benefit you're throwing, it's like if you have children they see you do this. So as they go, you know what, we need to pick a cause. If not this, something else, and they decide to do it. It like kind of develops something. It's like I guess it adds another a brick in your legacy. If you get what I'm saying, it's like you're teaching them a process of loving and helping those in less need, more unfortunate than you, and you're
That's
helping
it.
them. And so
Yeah.
when you teach them this, then they teach their kids. It's like simple things like taking your kids to a soup kitchen to serve meals, and then all of a sudden you
Right.
go every year. It's like all of a sudden it's a tradition. Like I have family members that is their tradition. Before they have their meal, they go out every single year and they serve dinners at the church or the soup kitchen. And I'm like, wow. It's like, and her kids do it. Like she developed this thing, and I think what you're doing is very admirable because you're doing this, and your children or the people, like you said, the young people that you are around, they're seeing this. Like, well, Aunt Scout's doing this, or mom, or my cousin. It's like they see this, and it's like, okay, wow, this is what you do. And I think that's another cog in the machine that we need to use to help solve the problem.
That's it. That's the most important thing is teaching the younger generation.
Because I think, like I said, what you do is awesome. Okay, Scout. Now, I'm gonna get, as what they call on last sip, all up in your business. So I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions.
Okay.
We're gonna cheer for this section. Okay, now, Scout. During our time and conversation of talking, I will let everybody here know if you have never seen me before, besides my podcast, I do have a wrestling show on YouTube also called APS Beneath the Lights. Action Pack Sports is the group that I run with. We're affiliated with others, but that's my main group. Um, Within that group, I am a wrestling manager. Now I do not take bumps, but I don't have the world's best knees. So, with that being said, a little birdie told me that you had a very interesting job before that was that had something to do with wrestling. Is that correct?
Yeah. So, right out of college, I went to college right outside Nashville, Tennessee. And you know what? Pro wrestling organizations based in Nashville is TNA Wrestling. And I was an intern there for a year or two. And then I got bumped up to a salaried position as the public relations manager there. And so I would go out, I would, be on my computer, be on the phone, setting up interviews and stuff with local media whenever we would have a tour coming through a city. And so at that time, now this is years ago. This is over 10 years ago.
Was this
But
the
I remember
Dixie
we
Carter
had we
era?
had do yeah, Dixie Carter. Yeah, I love Dixie. And this was during the Ric Flair era when he was with TNA.
Okay.
And yeah, yeah.
That is when you told me that, I was like, wait a minute, hold on, because I told you about the wrestling thing. I was like, are you serious? So that is kind of cool. So if you guys, anybody out there that's watching that knows Scout that didn't know that, now you know. So yeah, that has to be a wet moment. Yeah,
Yeah,
so I
it
had to
was
give.
it was a fun job. It was a fun job while I was there. I was there for a few years, and then I moved up to Omaha, Nebraska, where it was a huge mistake. They have snow in October. I did not like it. I came back to Arkansas shortly after. It was awful.
Okay, now I didn't think I told you. You know I'm from Davenport, Iowa. So I'm used to. I got down here by I got down here. I want to say maybe almost like 15 years ago. And so I'm from the snow.
Oh,
I'm from the
so
snow.
I,
So
I rented a house. I rented a house in Omaha, and on the lease it said I'm responsible for snow removal on the
Yes.
sidewalk. And I said, oh, yeah, no problem. Little did I know, it's October 1st. There's 2 feet of snow outside. I don't even own a snow shovel. I mean, it was disastrous to say
Oh
the
my
least.
goodness. That is okay. So we're going to go into this now. Now, I do, Scott, I do one big thing about me. If you ever look at my profile, I love to work out. I'm all about the gym. I saw your husband's photo. He ain't a little guy. Does he do a lot of gym time?
45 minutes a day. That's his rule.
Is it?
45 minutes a day. But I will tell you a story about him that's inspirational. He went through a time over the summer. He had an emergency surgery on his colon. It got a hole in it. So they had
Okay.
to remove half of it. He lost 50 pounds in like a month and a half, or maybe it was just a month. And so he looked like a totally different person. So he was down from 200 to 150,
Oh
146.
wow.
In 2 months, he looks like he does today. He
Oh
gained all his weight
wow.
back. And people ask him, he's talked to people about working out. He used to be a personal trainer, all that stuff. And I used to think, oh, he just looks like that, whatever. But no, now I believe him. Whatever he says, it is the gospel because he did it. I couldn't believe it. He can do it. Anybody can do it. He's only in the gym about 45 minutes a day. And he has a lot of protein during the day. That's his rule. He eats a lot of protein and takes shakes and stuff.
Yeah. See me, I come from a family. Well, the term is big back. So I come from a big back family. So I can't.
Yeah.
I gotta watch all the protein stuff. I mean, if I'm not working out and I pass a donut shop, as soon as I smell it in the air, I pick up like 15, 20 pounds. So it's like I come from one of them families. I come from one of those families, so I have to watch what I eat all the time. But I mean, I used to be close to 300 something pounds, 315. Right now, I'm 232 is what I am right now.
Congrats.
So,
Hey.
but I was at 200 at one point in time. But that just, when you're married and your
Oh
spouse
my
can cook.
gosh.
When you're married and
Tell
when
me
you're in
about it.
love, here's the thing. Young people, I tell them all the time they don't understand. When you're married and you're in love and you have the right relationship, you're kind of gonna put on some weight. You're kind of gonna want to stay at home. And some nights aren't about high heels and dress shoes and suits. Sometimes it's just about pajamas and footies. You sit on the couch and whatever. And and I don't know why I just got to that subject, but it's just like sometimes that's what it's all about, just being down to earth. Like I said, but I think I love them. Applause to your husband. That is awesome. I had no idea. I saw him. I was like, wow, that guy likes to. He works out. So I saw that, and I'd have never knew that from the picture. Never. So because it's like on your picture, you guys had that picture there. I'm like, that's a pretty big guy. So how tall is he?
5'9".
Oh, okay. Seriously? Okay. I just like, okay. I was like, because at first I was like,
No, no,
six,
no.
yeah.
Right. That 200 wouldn't be accurate if he was a little taller. But yeah, yeah. No, he's 5'9" at 200. So he works at it, but it's all about diet. I think is more about it to him because that's what happened when he got sick. He couldn't eat, and so because he couldn't eat, that's why it dropped so quick. When you go into health problems, it's hard.
Yes.
And I understand now. That's why a lot of these fundraisers hit home with me now because we've been there. We've been at the hospital looking at the hospital bill like, well, how are we going to pay this? And so it can happen to anybody in this country. And the veterans are the ones that deserve our charity the most.
Do you, and I'll say it like I said before, do you have any idea to how refreshing it is to hear a person that has not let everything they're going through or everything that's happening right now in the world sway their motion or their action of movements towards what they're looking to do. And I think that's what's very I'm very I give you a lot of admiration for that. I think that's awesome. Just you telling me about your husband, and then so you do understand that there's things people deal with. Like me, I have a wife that she is not always in the best health, and I have a granddaughter we've had since she was 2.5 months. She's 3 now. She's autistic. Lovely. I love her so much. We take care of her. So we're grandparents raising a grandchild. So I do understand, there's things, and it's things that come up. That is what makes you stronger. And I think that gives you more drive to whatever it is you're putting your focus into. So
And
I,
it gives you a perspective.
mhm.
That's what I think a lot of the younger generation that they need perspective. And I don't mean for bad things to happen to them for them to gain that perspective, but
Yes.
that's what it gives you. Life experience, it gives you perspective. Is that you're not going to look at a person less fortunate than you the same after you've been through the same thing.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does sway you. It moves you a little bit. Well, I'm gonna get back to this real quick, so I'm gonna show it up here again. Go ahead, I got it up. Go ahead and plug your event, Scout.
Yeah, I'd love for everybody to come out. The more people there, the more fun it is because you really get into it when they're giving out the raffle tickets and we're up on the stage giving out the latest prize, and it's always it's either a funny prize or it's a prize you really want. So come out to the Basic White Girl Party, wear your Uggs. It's tomorrow night at 7 at Hard Riders there in Cabot. It's on 6613 John Hardin Drive, right off the interstate
Is
there in
there
Cabot.
is there a landmark that's near that where they can, is there like what's the nearest landmark? Like a restaurant or something? Is there anything near
It's
it?
Yeah, okay. There's that new restaurant called Hot Tails, and there's that Drunken Monkey restaurant right down the road.
Yep.
It's on that service road that runs parallel to the interstate.
On the other
And
side, the
so,
one coming from Walmart.
yeah,
Okay.
on the opposite side from Ace Liquor. You know
Yep.
where
I
Ace Liquor?
got
It's
you.
on the opposite side of the interstate. So it's right there. There's a bunch of bars right there, but this one, Hard Riders, it's a really, really nice place. It's a biker bar, and the owner, BJ, has been. I want to give him his due because he has just been so great to our club and letting us have stuff here for free. His name's BJ, and he's a veteran himself, and so he understands the importance of what we're doing, and he's just a great guy. So even if it's not tomorrow night when you can come to the event, just go out and support him sometime because he does a lot of good for the community.
Well, another applause. I want to send a shout out to BJ. I like hearing that. Thank you so much for that. Well, as I
Yeah.
told you, like I said, with me, and I always tell any guest I have here, like this platform is done by me, is sponsored by me because I don't really have a backing or following. Like I'm if you look at me, I got a lot of following on Facebook, following a lot of big following on TikTok. I'm just a guy who loves to talk. And so I started this with one or two episodes in mind. Now I think I'm on almost 50, and it's the third season. So I only do like maybe 20 something per season, and I start something new to get a different perspective. And this is like awesome that I had you on my show. Like I said, I don't know how many people will watch that. So I just tell people, you get a chance and you see this, it's not your average, guy snubber just talking. I actually have very good subjects and conversations. I love the guests I have. I've had teachers on my show. I've had artists. I've had musicians. I love inviting people on. And I love plugging people's events. I love plugging people's ideas. So like I said, as I always say, it's never the quantity, it's always the quality. And I thank you. I want to give you a round of applause again, Scout. It was awesome having you on the show today. I love your attitude. I love it. I don't know if you know where I work at. I did tell I am a I am a gas station manager. Is what I do. I got the job because of my attitude and my upbeat self. So if you ever get a chance, stop into the Roadrunner here in Cabot. It's across the street from the McDonald's, same parking lot as that Burger King next to Popeyes.
Yeah, I know where that is. Okay.
The Roadrunner, and I work in. I'm usually there. You can catch me most of the time in the daytime sometimes. But if you ever come out, would like to meet you, and it'll be awesome. Anything I could do, as far as like put something on my page, put something on my TikTok, my YouTube, anything you guys need to help you with your state, girls, boys, whatever. I do everything. Like I said, I make shirts. I have media. I do shirts. Anything you need, I do shirts. I do like stuff like this. I make videos. So if you guys ever need any help, anything, just reach out. Let me know.
All right. Hey, thanks so much. Thank you for having me on today. I really appreciate it.
Scott, it was awesome. Like I said, you have just it's just a fresh, you have just such a fresh aura about you. It's so cool. And you laughed at one of my jokes, so that's cool too. So you're good. Okay, well, I thank you for joining us, and I hope you have a good evening.
All right. Thanks, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, bye bye.
All right. Bye.
Y'all, let's give an applause for Scout. Let's give another applause. Like I said, if you didn't know, this is what they doing, y'all. Check it out. It's the basic white girl party. A-State girls have A-State boys. What they do is they help causes, veterans. They help children. The name, don't be thrown off by the name, basic white girl party. When I heard, I thought the same thing. Uggs and Starbucks. Come on, y'all. Let's keep it 100% real. Uggs and Starbucks, what they doing. But I want to thank her for being on the show. Y'all, today's conversation, I hope it brought some things to light. You saw two people that don't look nothing alike. They're walking two different paths in life. Sit down and have a conversation about something that was important, about something that is necessary. But we can't seem to get our people that are in these political offices, that are in control of governments and finances. We can't seem to get them to sit down and have a basic conversation. And they're from the same group or from the same agenda. That's a problem. And I hope tonight that from me and Scout's conversations, you can see it's possible. What she is doing is very admirable, her and her group. I love meeting people like this that have something to put back, that have something to give back to those who gave to us first. That's super important, super important. So as I say once again, there was no theme song today coming in. There will be none coming out because this was all about the veterans. That's what this event is for, the veterans. And y'all, if y'all know a vet, I know Veterans Day passed, but it shouldn't be just one day. We're going to just stretch the whole month out with it. If you know a vet in your life, man, go check them out and see what they're doing. See how they're doing. They want to tell you stories, listen. Because sometimes you might be the only relief or love they have. Check on your local veterans. You might be in your family and you know someone that does know someone, check on them. But always remember that is what makes us who we are. That's what gives us the freedoms to do the things we do. The people that went and served time and did this for us. With that being said, y'all, I want to give a good night to y'all. Thank you for tuning in to The Last Sip. I will see y'all again next week. You know I get down. Every Friday, I'm here. Every Friday. Much love to y'all. To all my veterans, salute, peace, love.